Okay, friends, what you see in front of you is the Noble Eightfold Path, represented often in Buddhism by a wheel. Now, the Eightfold Path begins at the 1 o'clock position with right view. This is understanding the nature of things. It's understanding the Four Noble Truths, what life really is, what the world really is. The second one is right resolve. That could also be said right intention. It is the resolve or the intention to avoid the three poisons, which we talked about a minute ago. The third one is right speech. So you are refraining from lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, senseless speech. The fourth one is right conduct. So this would be living by the 5 precepts of things like not going to kill, not going to steal, avoiding sexual misconduct. Right livelihood is the 5th one. That refers to what you do for a living. So you're not going to be a slave trader. You're not going to make a living by, selling weapons or you're doing something with your livelihood that is beneficial to humankind and not harmful. Right effort is the 6th one, and this has to do with abandoning negative states of mind, preventing negative states of mind, and seeking positive states of mind. Right mindfulness, that is being aware of your body, your feelings, your thought, and being aware of what is going on around you. And finally, number 8, which is listed here as right samadhi. And we're using the Pali word. The English word might be right concentration, but it's more than just concentration. It's achieving that very, very focused mental state that is achieved through meditation and through intense mental focus. That's what samadhi is. So those 8 things are the Noble Eightfold Path. You should be able to recognize those if they were to show up on a multiple choice or true false. Anatta, no self, is another thing you need to be familiar with. I've mentioned it already. It's one of the marks of existence. But no self is the idea that, you have no soul or self. What you think is yourself is really the temporary coming together of 5 impermanent elements: your body, your sensations, your thoughts, your feelings, and your consciousness. None of those, according to Buddhism, is going to last. Those are all impermanent. And so the fact that right now they are together making you think you have a self, part of enlightenment is realizing that those things, like all things, are impermanent. And when they are separated, there's no you left. That's the idea of no self. One of the 2 very philosophical concepts of Buddhism, and the other one is called dependent origination. This is the chain of causation and the cycle of rebirth. It's called other things. Codependent arising, some other names, they're escaping me at the moment, but dependent originations, that chain of causation, borrowing from Thich Nhat Hanh, it is the Buddhist understanding that everything arises in dependence upon multiple causes and conditions. Nothing exists as a singular, independent entity. You need to be familiar with the 3 main branches of Buddhism, which you see on this map here. The oldest one is Theravada Buddhism. It is called the Way of the Elders, popular in Burma, Laos, Burma actually called Myanmar today by most people, Burma, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Sri Lanka. Theravada is also sometimes called Hinayana, which means the lesser vehicle. Why? Because only monks and nuns can be enlightened. Second branch is Mahayana, also called or known as, Mahayana means the greater vehicle, popular in China, Korea, Japan. Um, and then Vajrayana, the diamond vehicle, and this is basically Tibetan Buddhism, popular in Tibet and Mongolia. So some important characteristics, as I mentioned, in Theravada Buddhism, the only people who can reach enlightenment are monastics, the monks and the nuns. Everybody else, you're not going to reach enlightenment in this life, but you can improve your karma by feeding and respecting the monastics. Mahayana Buddhism. Now, a key idea here is the bodhisattva. In Mahayana Buddhism, the bodhisattva becomes very important. It's somebody, a Buddha, who is sworn not to enter nirvana until all have achieved enlightenment. And in Mahayana Buddhism, the bodhisattvas, you actually pray to them. You actually seek their help. Especially in a strand of Mahayana Buddhism called Pure Land Buddhism, in which a bodhisattva by the name of Amitabha, who is the Buddha of immeasurable light and life, and he requires only that you recite his name, and he will bring you upon death to a perfect realm where you can meditate in bliss and so achieve enlightenment. This is not quite just believing in this Buddha and going straight to heaven. It's not quite the same idea. It's the idea that you go to a pure land, but you're not quite there yet. It's just that in this pure land, you will be able to meditate and focus and achieve enlightenment more easily than you can in this less pure land that we all live in now. Another strand of Mahayana Buddhism, which has become very, very popular, is called Zen Buddhism. Now, remember where this name Zen comes from. Zen is Japanese for Chan. Chan is Chinese for dhyana. Dhyana is Sanskrit for meditation. So, Zen Buddhism is meditation Buddhism. And then Vajrayana, Tibetan Buddhism. Interesting thing there is it's a mixture of Mahayana Buddhism and traditional Tibetan religions. And so it has a lot of more supernatural elements. Notice how this has progressed from that original Theravada Buddhism, which was almost kind of a pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, by meditating, by achieving enlightenment yourself. But now, as it gets up to the Tibetan version, we have a lot more supernatural elements. The gods of traditional Tibetan religion are somehow brought in. The idea of spirits is brought in. Lots of public prayer and public worship. And the leaders are known as lamas, and the main leader is the Dalai Lama, someone that you likely have heard of. So remember that he is the representative of Tibetan Buddhism. Okay, where are we? Looks like we're at the end of the slides I've made thus far for this presentation. So why don't we pause there, and we will start again with the next lecture.